What's happening, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Slingshot YouTube channel. And this is part 2 of a little series I've been putting together, which was the design through to the build of a custom G10 catapult. So this is part 2. If you haven't already, see part 1. I will put a link to that in the description if you haven't seen it. But let's push along with part 2. So in this episode, what we're going to be doing is cutting out a template that we can work off for the future of our design. And then I'm going to be cutting out the pieces of a G10 build, shaping them a little, gluing them together right up until the clip stage. And then the clips and final finishing will be the last episode. So without further ado, let's get on with it. Catch you in a bit, guys. So welcome back for episode 2, and here I'm just drawing around the original template you saw me do in the first part of this series onto, this is just the backing of a picture frame, but anything, I just thought this material is ideal because it's not a lot of work to get it done and it's sturdy enough to hold up that you can keep. And once they're on this, I call them a pattern. And I've got all different patterns hanging up in the workshop of different catapults I've mucked around with over the years. So I just cut out the shape on the bandsaw. Make sure you don't go over the lines, and then just a quick run over with a Dremel just to bring it up tight to the lines that you've drawn. Now, as you can see, I'm just holding it up as if I was shooting it, and I'm figuring out what negative space is not needed. And I found that wide piece on the cup there, your hand doesn't touch it whatsoever. So I decided to take that bit out and modify the design slightly. There we have the negative space removed, and then just a quick run over with a Dremel, and your pattern is ready to keep and use whenever you want to make your slingshot. But take extra care with this bit, guys, because obviously every slingshot you make is going to be made off of this pattern. So any mistakes you make here are going to be on every single slingshot you do. And then using the calipers, always check the width and the tip width to make sure you're still on track. It's very easy to go under on your width. Or in this case, it was a tiny bit over. Leave like a mil extra for when you're sanding or whatever, but you don't want to be too far over, and you want your tips to be even. And these tips here, I think they're 24 mil, and the width for this is 85 mil. So just go very little and often with this, rather than taking out big chunks. Then back onto the calipers, just to give it a double check. So I've drawn round my pattern onto masking tape on the G10 just so I can see it a bit more clearly, and we're going to cut it out on the bandsaw. Make sure you go around the outside edge of your line so you've got a little bit of room for sanding and shaping. So now I'm cutting out a piece the same shape out of white G10, drawing around the pattern and cut it out on the bandsaw. If you're liking the content, make sure you give us a thumbs up to say you like the video, and feel free to comment, let me know your thoughts. There's the white layer cut out, and then we're just going to go round the edges with the Dremel, bringing it up to the line. And also guys, if you want to subscribe and click the notification bell to make sure you catch episode 3, which will be next week, then feel free to do so. And all we're doing here is just tightening it up to the line a little bit. And I'm always checking it as if I was shooting the catapult, seeing what needs to be done. Now what we're going to do here is just rough up the surfaces with a bit of sandpaper, ready for laminating. So what I do, I'll rough it up with just a bit of coarse grip sandpaper, and then I'll run it under the tap and give it a clean, and then epoxy the layers together. And keep the layers of epoxy thin, or else you'll end up with glue lines. And I found that out the hard way. So just a nice thin spread on both pieces. I'll give it a little push and a slide to make sure it gets a good contact, and then clip it together until it goes off. And once it's all dry guys and not sticky at all, go around a pair of them together with the Dremel just to bring them in together and make it uniform. I did used to use a bobbin sander for this, but I find it's a little bit too aggressive, and I think you can just be a little bit more accurate and gentle with the Dremel, because your hand's controlling it the whole time. It takes a bit longer, but you know, at this stage in the game I just want to up the quality and do it the best I can. And then here on the belt sander, forgot the word there, I'm just using the circular disc to sharpen up the tips and just give them a nice 90-degree edge and make sure they're all uniform and nice and sharp. You can do this on a bit of flat sandpaper, just the same as doing any straight edge really. And then checking the whips with the caliper again to make sure we're still on track. I've probably still got about 1 mil on the width to play with here. Checking the tips, make sure they're both the same, both uniform. And then onto the belt sander just to get the glue off of the surfaces and getting them back to a nice flat edge. You can also do this on a flat piece of sandpaper on the surface. And then we just clamp a bit of G10 to the bottom of where the clips are going to go. I think I've done these clips at about 15 mil. So I get them lined up nicely with the clips at 15 mil. And then I tape off the tips just to keep any glue from going onto the tips, and to give me a line where the front of the catapult is going to sit. I normally do about 3 layers of masking tape here. That's normally enough. Oh, I've done 4 here. Breaking the norm. There we go. So now I've just got a bit of red G10, which is going to be the face, and I've got it up to my masking tape on the tips, so I know exactly where the tips are going to be. Let me cut that out on a bandsaw. Remember, go around the outside edge, guys. and then we you don't see it on camera, but I went round the edge again with the Dremel just to take any rough edge off, and then rub it down with your coarse grit sandpaper, run it under the tap, give it a clean, and then we're going to stick that onto the face up to the masking tape line where our clips are going to be. So we're coming to the end of episode 2, guys, so make sure you subscribe, ready for episode 3, which will be the final part, which will be the clips and the final finishing of the frame. And if you enjoyed the video, give me a thumbs up and feel free to comment. And I'll leave you to it, guys, and I will see you in the next episode. Catch you later.
Slingshot, take your aim. Fingers twitching in the neon flame. Let it loose, let the chaos sing. Every flick of the wrist is the kingdom's king.